Evening, guys. Yeah, this is we have our this is our tutorial based on reading a file. Yeah, as you know, guys, that we have to read a file. We have to read a file. As of reading a file, I mean, uh, when you read a file, we have to have a file ourselves created manually. And when say manually, like myself, you have created a file here, that contains the the names of people, their surnames and their age, and also the genders of the people. This is my file, and I've stored my file in a folder called C++, as you can see, and this is where my program is stored. The file has to be in where the program is stored. Like you can see, my file name is ReadFile, and ReadFile, as you can see, this is the man, my object, my C++ compiler, or my program is ReadFile. As you can see, ReadFile here, and now here I have my the file that I have to open, which is in CSV. And then I think now we can start reading the file. When reading the file, you need, as we can see, that we have IOStream includes and all that. Yes, you are commonly, you are common to that. And but what comes to be a surprise, I think, this one. This is fstream. This allows us to read or write a file. This is like I would say class, but because you guys haven't been to classes, it's just a tool that allows us to open. If you want to open, if you want to read, if you want to read in a class, you have to say if stream. If streams allow us to read from a file, but if you want to write to a file, you say off stream. By off stream, this allows you to write to a file. And then now we come and say f stream. By f stream, meaning that we want to write, as we have the file. We have the file, you've seen the file, it's somehow filled with something. This is the name of my, this is the object of my f stream. This is not a file, it's an object of my f stream, which means that I'm going to open a file. And then I can say my file, and I will say my file, and I'm opening it now. I'm opening the file now. Dot open, dot open, dot open. When I say dot open, dot open, dot open, what am I opening? The file, the name of the file was read, and you know it was an SVS file. I'll still have to explain to you everything about this SVS file and where you save and all that, but now let's focus on this one. What do you have? We know that we've got name. What you have to understand, and this has to be included now, is strings that allows us to be strings. We know that we have the name, the surname. We know that we have the name, the surname, maybe gender. I will make it as a string, gender, and also and it like that. And we have what we called our age, and we will like this. That's something that we'll need. I'll tell you what we need. Position when we read a file. One thing we understand that in a file we have a number of names, but sometimes we know what we are reading, but in most times you don't know. In fact, you don't know what you're reading, so you can't say, maybe you can't create a for loop, because by creating a for loop, it like the file itself, while that's not so. We don't create a for loop, you create a while loop. While loop, you say get line. This get line here, you mean while get line it's equals to my file, which is this your file, and then your file, as you know, your file, and this is your file. And then here you maybe write your code line, and you have to come here and say string line. This will be your line, the whole line. Remember, the whole line, our whole line here, as you guys have seen, this is our whole line. this is our whole line. This is our whole line. The first line, which contains Zama Ngwenya 36 male. Zama Ngwenya 36 male. This is the whole line. And then this is the second line. This is the second line. From Google, Zima, female, and then 38 female. And this is our third line. All line. And this is our fourth line. So we have to understand that it gets just the whole that line. And then when you know like this, we know that now we can carry on. And since we have the line, we can carry on with our reading. And since we have the file is now open, we can start saying this. We can start saying our file. Since we are reading getLine, now here I've said while getLine, do this while I keep getting the line. If the line is not more, then that means it will stop. And then what we have, I would like to tell about this int post that I've created. It will get me a position to somewhere, and you see this is gonna be, I'm gonna find the position now. Post it's equals to my line. I want to say line it's equals to, but line it's equals to, this is gonna, in fact, let me just say line it's equals to find line dot find. You can see it helps me find what. As you can see, we have set CSV as it's in CSV file. It means comma, I think it's comma, it's separated. I think it's comma separated unit or something like that. So we have to say by a comma. It's separated by a comma. I think it's comma separated unit. So we close it like this, and now this finds us the position of the name. That means the names we have there was like Zama, in other words, like Zama, and then it was Ngwenya. It was Ngwenya. According to what it is, it was 36, and it was like female. According to what the programs want. Well, we wouldn't see that because it was on SVS and on an SVS file. And now we want to write the word Zama. When the name of Zama, we say name. Since we have it, name will be equals to what? Name will be equals to the line. Since we found the comma, remember this gives us the number of where the comma is, not the number of where the comma is. We're gonna say line dot subscript, and then what? We start from 0 because a string here starts from 0. Again, sub 0, comma. What do we put there? We are going to place what? Pause. And then here it's that from 0 to where the comma was found. It will take what? It will take the name. Like here, as like where the comma, it will take the name, the name only. Like I've shown example, it was Zama Ngwenya 36. It was female. So what is it going to take here? It's going to take from 0, which is Z, to from 0 to Z, and also to here. It will leave the comma from where the comma is, but I'll explain to you how that is possible. And then that's it. And then now we have like that. And since we have that, we have to delete it. What do we have to delete? We have to delete the line, because now the line has, we now have our name. Now we are only left with what in the line? With the surname and the age, and also the gender. And now what we have to say, we have to change our line. Line is equals to line dot delete dot delete. But what delete? We have to delete to delete our file. When by deleting our file, others not really delete but erase. I have erase. What are we erasing really? We erase from where? From 0, and then we say like this. I'll explain to you on all that you'll understand, but I'll just give you the conception of that. So this is what will happen, and then now this is going to be like this. What I do mostly, it's because of this, because this is repeated. We're gonna take this and copy this, and we paste it like this. And we're gonna add what for the surname, because it's the whole thing, it's going to do the same thing. And now we're gonna take this and place it here, and this does for what? The age. But there's age, it's in what? It's an integer. Here the line is what? It's in string. There's what you need to know about that. I think you need to put what? A toy. It's like this, and you need at the end of that you put I think you put this. You put dot you put this, or you put this here. Let me see. Yeah, this is what you put, and then you place like this. It's something that you should always have to convert the number to an integer. And at the end we have what? We have what you called our gender, which is in string. It's fine, you just say you call it gender, and it's at the end. We don't have to delete anything because the last part is the last part. What do we put it? Gender would be equals to our line, because the line is now left with only one thing, with gender. And we can start now what you called outputting what we have. Let's try and output and see if we're gonna get that. We're gonna start by see out our name. I'm gonna open up a space, our surname, open up a space, open up a space, the age, open up in a space, and lastly our gender, and I would say end line on end line. The reason why I keep repeating this just because it does the same thing. You'll still find the point, because the line will have to be erased here. When we say post find comma, the post find the position of the comma, it finds it and gets our name, and from there we erase the name. That means when we erase the name, we're left with what? With the surname, and in the line is left with the surname and the age, and also the lastly, which be the gender. But now let's try and run our project and see if we get what we're supposed to get. And then now I'll run our project to see what we get, whether we are getting the file and all that. You would see it will take some time, but it will run, and I hope it runs in a way that we want it to be. We'll see the file, if it's there. If it's not there, it's still connecting with other things, and if you get it, it's saying the memory like that. I think this is because we haven't. Let me try and run it again if this persists. Okay, I think that it's because, okay, to make things like this, let's see if the file is it's found. If my file dot fail, tell me something. Cout file failed. This is to prove. So if it writes this, that means the file it's that means the file it's failed. That means the file it's failed. It's a file failed. It didn't open. So let me try and run it. If it's then let's see. File failed. That means our file. That means we didn't get the file. So let's see why the file it's not open. There we have this here. There we have this here, and then we have this here. We have to put it here, but I think maybe it might be some ways that I don't know it's failed. Still, I think it's basically because of let me check my file. Let me try and place it here. Maybe it might somehow give me something. Okay, it's still failing. The problem might be the file. The problem has to be with the file. I think it might be the location where I've placed the file. Let me try and put it somewhere. It still failed. Let me try and see the errors myself. What I got, I think it tells me of memory what. The file, the problem is not with the code, because the code is problem with the file, because the file has not been opened. I think it's because I didn't include the so-called, I didn't save the file. I didn't save the file as like I should have somehow changed it to what we called CSV, which was comma delimited. Sorry, comma delimited, and that has to be changed in that. Let's try and put it there and see if it's gonna give us anything. Let me see if there's gonna be changes. Here we have, did you see what it is? Check now. I'm playing. If my file is like this, so the problem was because we didn't the file didn't name. And here, as you can see, we have Zama, Google, Sipo, and everything like this. This is our file. Perfect. Thank you for today. If there's anything, I know that you guys not know much about this. I also have to explain much about this to you. Now the problem that we had today was just the fact that the file was not in any way it was in text. It would have somehow be it's supposed to be placed in a CSV way, or in a comma delimited manner, and we didn't do that. Now we just realized that. And thank you for watching my video, and you can like if you like. Thank you.